3 Weather Lab. Here's Daniel's True View forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. Obviously, a lot to get through in the weather world, so let's get right to it. We will start with a look at the satellite and radar picture. We have had a messy couple of days when it comes to the forecast. Inverted trough bringing in a good bit of moisture across the area. That got started over the weekend, continued then again today. Now, things starting to ease up, and as you look eastward, you notice things are starting to improve a little bit. Now, I think we keep a lot of those clouds overnight tonight, that the showers will start to come to an end. You still have some heavy rainfall, though, that is working its way out into southwestern Louisiana and on into Texas as well, where they've had a flooding threat throughout the day. They will likely continue to see a flooding threat on into early Tuesday morning, so if you are westbound, keep that in mind. Things improving generally out over towards the east for the time being. It's going to be a quick turnaround before we start to see conditions deteriorating again. The good news is, though, for Acadiana and even Louisiana is that it looks like we are on the right side of this system. Right side, of course, being the western side, as that is where some of the drier air is. Did want to point out where we are seeing some of the warnings, though. Tropical storm warning is going to be in effect from roughly Morgan City out over towards the east. This is going to include Baton Rouge, all of the North Shore, Lake Pontchartrain, and then the New Orleans metro area as well. Just to the east of that, and you're talking about the Pearl River, the mouth of the Pearl River. So that's going up along the Louisiana-Mississippi border all the way through into Mobile Bay to roughly the Alabama-Florida border. That's where your hurricane warning is going to be, and then the offshore waters as well, as we continue to watch Tropical Storm Gordon work its way across the Gulf of Mexico, and it looks like it's going to be making landfall somewhere along the Mississippi Gulf Coast area. I would imagine that's going to be up close to the Pascagoula area, somewhere between Pearl River, Pascagoula. A pretty good bet on where this thing is eventually going to come onshore. A couple things I did want to point out. It worked its way across the Everglades today. A lot of the activity has been centered right of the center of circulation. On the left side, things have looked a little uneven. And what that means is that the impact's really going to be felt on the eastern side of this storm. That's where you get the worst weather. And again, we're on the right side of this, the western side of this, right, in the sense that we get some of that drier air maybe. Now, we will still have to look out for rain bands, and small changes in this track are going to be a pretty big deal for us, especially if it slides towards the west a little bit. However, this has been trending east over the last couple of days, certainly since we started seeing these advisories come out, and that stayed true with the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock advisories. Right now, winds are at about 50 miles an hour, gusting up to around 65. It's getting into a part of the Gulf of Mexico where the waters are really, really warm, and it should have some success in strengthening. In fact, as of 4 o'clock, looks like it is going to make landfall as a Category 1 storm. Again, somewhere central Mississippi coastline, close to Pascagoula, I think Bay St. Louis out in that area. Somewhere in between those regions is where you're going to see this come onshore. The worst of the weather is going to be centered from about Mississippi, Alabama, all the way through out over towards Mobile Bay, I think right on the eastern fringe where you're going to get the worst. Now, you are going to see some pretty rough storm surge up from the area where it comes on shore all the way through out over to the Okaloosa-Walton County line. That's about the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area in Florida. As for us here in Louisiana, probably 1 to 2 foot storm surge through southeastern, extreme southeastern parts of Acadiana, or of Louisiana, excuse me. The coastal parts of Acadiana could see the tides coming up about a foot or 2 here over the next couple of days. Some of that water gets pushed ashore. You've likely got a 3 to 5 foot storm surge up along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So that comes on shore sometime late Tuesday night, maybe even early Wednesday morning. Slows down and then will drift northwards. Now, you've got a big ridge of high pressure that's sitting towards the northeast. So I don't think that this system is actually going to take a hard turn. It will continue to drift westwards and bring a lot of the rainfall, again, just to the east of where that center is going to be. I would imagine that in the places that catch a lot of that rainfall, it's going to be about 46 inches worth of rain. Some areas could see that 8+ inch rainfall in isolated spots. Here's how Futurecast looks going up through tomorrow. Now, notice we stay pretty quiet tomorrow. We'll get a few scattered showers popping up through the afternoon. We'll go about 40% on your rain chances. Let's take this up to Tuesday night. You can see the landfall. Futurecast, I think, is centered a little further towards the east than what the National Hurricane Center is saying. I would bring that westwards just a little bit. But regardless, you've got a lot of that rain going up through the Mobile Bay area. And then as this starts to drift westwards into Thursday, that's when it will start dragging some of the moisture into our our region. I think Thursday going to be the wettest day we had this week as this system lifts northwards up through Arkansas, pulling all that moisture in from the Gulf of Mexico. Again, I think that Thursday is going to be the wettest day. As far as your rain totals go on Tuesday, this is when it is making landfall and then drifting northwards. Again, I think 4 to 6 inches worth of rainfall through central Mississippi on towards Mobile. There are going to be areas here that get 8+ inches worth of rain. We may be on the dry side of this. We may see a rain ban or two, and that's going to be about it. Again, small changes in that track, especially if it floats westwards a little bit, will have big impacts on us. We obviously will bring you all those updates as necessary. For tonight, it will feel tropical outside. It is a heavy atmosphere. A lot of moisture still hanging around. It should quiet down tonight, but a little bit of sunshine tomorrow could churn things up again. 40% chance for some scattered showers. Doing that for Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, I think Thursday when we see some of the heavier rain totals, and then as we go through next week, things are going to be looking a little bit better. Tropics active this time of year. There is Florence down in the Atlantic, not going to be a threat to Louisiana, and another one back behind Florence as well that's trying to get going. We'll keep an eye on that one. Right now, Gordon, obviously the one we're all paying attention to.
Happy September.
Yep.
Thank you,
absolutely.
Daniel.